we are continuing with the series Introduction to Financial Accounting. As I have already explained you in the previous lecture, the meaning and definition of bookkeeping and accounting, what is the relationship of bookkeeping, accounting and auditing, the difference between bookkeeping and accounting, what are the activities which are covered under accounting, accounting cycle or accounting process, and what are the objectives and branches of accounting. In this session, we are going to cover accounting as an information system, who are the users of financial accounting information, what are the basis of accounting, what are the advantages and limitations of accounting. Accounting as an information system. Accounting as an information system is the system of collecting and processing transaction data and disseminating information to the interested parties. Who are the interested parties? Who have interest in getting this financial information is known as accounting information system. Accounting information system is considered to be the most important part of overall management information system on account of the following reason. It enables both internal and external users to have a clear picture of the entire organization about liquidity, solvency and profitability of the firm. Accounting as an information system, this can be viewed as under. As we all know, accounting is a language of business, and the purpose of any language is to communicate the financial information to the users of accounting. As it is depicted by this diagram, financial transactions serve as an input. All those financial transactions are served as an input, and these financial transactions then process as identifying, classifying, then summarizing, and then these financial transactions are converted into the output, that is financial statements, and the financial statements includes what? Trading, P&L, balance sheet, cash flow statements, and then these financial statements are then communicated to the users of accounting. So the input is financial transactions, then these transactions then process, and the output is financial statement, and then these financial statements are communicated to the users of accounting. Who are the users of accounting? This is very important. Users of accounting, maybe they are internal or external. Users of financial accounting are who are interested to know about the financial statements. They can be internal or external users. Internal users are those users who are from the management group. First is owners. Owners are who contribute capital in the business and share the risk. They are very much interested to know about the financial statements because they have invested their capital into the business. So they want to know about the profitability of the firm. They want to know about the rate of return on the capital employed. They want to know about efficient utilization of the scarce resources. As their money is invested into the business, so they are very much interested to know about the profit of the business, and this profit can be ascertained by preparing financial statements. They want to know about the position of the business. So this position can be depicted only by preparing balance sheet. The next internal users are management. Management, because they have to take so many decisions regarding the solvency of the firm, or they have to take various decisions like short term and long term solvency of the firm. They have to take decisions regarding the profitability. They have to take decisions regarding about some particular department. They want to take some decisions regarding some performance of the employees. So management, they are also interested to know about the this profit or position of the firm. Now next is employees. They also comes in the internal users of accounting. Employees, they are always keen to know about the growth of their firm where they are working, because they are directly connected with the enterprise, and therefore they are interested in the financial statements, because their salary, their other perks, allowances, their retirement benefits, everything is dependent on the growth of the firm. If the firm is flourishing, then only the firm is going to give these salaries and other benefits to the employees. So they are directly connected with the financial statements. So employees are also interested to know about they are also interested in financial statements. Next are external users. External users who are outside the management, they are known as external users. External users always interested to know about the financial information, as they are not involved in the preparation of the financial statements. They are not involved in the preparation of the financial statements, so they want to know whether the firm is in the position of profit or not, what is the performance of the firm, what is the position of the firm. So in the external users list, the first one is lenders. Lenders are banks and financial institutions who provide loans to the business. So they are interested in the financial information to ensure about the safety and recovery of the loan. Example I am giving you here: if you want to avail loan from some bank or some financial institution and you have some business, so before granting you the loan, bank would always check your credit worthiness of the business, because the recovery of the loan is dependent on the growth of the business. The next is investors. Investors they are prospective investors or current investors. They want to invest in the business, so they are always interested in the profitability of the firm, to know that the earning or required rate of return on their investment. Creditors. Next is creditors. Who are the creditors? Creditors who supply goods or services to the firm, they are creditors. So they are interested in the financial information because they want to know about liquidity position of the enterprise, and the liquidity analysis means the analysis done for knowing the ability of the enterprise to meet its obligation in the ordinary course of the business. Government agencies, to assess the tax liability of the enterprise, and these financial information can be used by the this RBI, IRDA. They can also use this financial information. Customers, those customers who use durable goods, they are always interested in the continuation of the product or enterprise. Example, if I have purchased some car of some brand, so I am always interested to know about that brand is going to continue in future or not, because my post sale services are dependent on that particular product. Then finally, researchers use accounting information in their research work. Now, basis of accounting. Basis of accounting, there are mainly two bases of accounting, and the first one is cash basis and the another one is accrual basis. Why this basis of accounting is needed? Because when we calculate net profit, so net profit is always calculated by matching revenues with the expenses. So when you calculate net profit, so to calculate net profit, there should be some basis to be followed for calculating net profit, and this basis can be cash basis or accrual basis. Cash basis, it records only cash related transactions. These two bases are very important. So here cash basis, it records only cash transactions. Only cash transactions are to be recorded. It means if there is a transaction which is a credit transaction, then this transaction will not be recorded here. For example, let's take an example of salary. The per month salary is rupees 20,000 and 20,000 rupees is the salary, and for 12 months. So this comes to 2,40,000. Out of 2,40,000, the salary which we have paid in cash is 2 lakh for 10 months. Out of 12 months salary, we have paid salary only of 10 months, that is 20,000 rupees per month salary for 12 months. The total salary comes to 2,40,000. But out of 2,40,000, we have paid only 2 lakh. 40,000 is still pending. What does cash basis says? Cash basis says you have to record only cash transactions. Only those transactions are to be recorded which are cash transactions. It means out of 2,40,000 you have recorded only 2 lakh. 40,000 which is still pending, which is known as outstanding salary, will not be considered here if you are following cash basis. So in cash basis, no adjustment is made while calculating profit and loss for outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses, accrued income and income received in advance. No adjustment is made for all these adjustments. This cash basis is suitable only for professionals like doctors, advocates, CA, brokers and small business enterprises. This cash basis is not recognized by the Companies Act 2013. Cash basis does not give the true and fair view of the results of the operation. Why? Because in cash basis, we are recording only cash transaction. As I have given you the example. In the example, the total salary for the accounting year was rupees 2,40,000, out of which you have paid only 2 lakh. It means 10 months salary you have paid. 2 months salary is still outstanding. But you have not recorded this 2 months outstanding salary anywhere. So unless you record all the expenses of the year, this is not going to give a true and fair view of the results of the operations. This cash basis is not stable where the number of transaction is very large. So it is done, it is adapted by only by professionals. Now come to the next basis. This basis is going to help you throughout this financial accounting, as we are going to follow in accounting accrual basis only. This accrual basis is also known as mercantile basis of accounting. Method of recording transactions by which revenue, costs, assets and liabilities are recognized during the period in which they accrue. It means you have to record according to this basis, accrual basis, you have to record these transactions in the year in which they are due, or in the year in which in the same accounting period when you are paying that. This basis records cash as well as credit transaction. In this basis, you have to record both the transaction, whether that transaction is a cash transaction or that transaction is a credit transaction. Let's take the same example here of salary. The total salary for the year was 12 months salary at the rate of 20,000 per month is equals to 2,40,000. In the earlier basis, that is cash basis, we have recorded only that amount which you have paid, that is 2 lakh rupees. While in the accrual basis, we are going to record the entire amount of salary which is pertaining to the current accounting period, that is 2,40,000, in spite of the fact whether you have paid or not. If any amount, any expenses which is pertaining to the current accounting period has to be recorded in spite of the fact whether you have paid that expense or not. So in this example, according to accrual basis, rupees 2,40,000 is going to be recorded here, in spite of the fact that you have paid 2 lakh only and 40,000 is still pending. So how you are going to record this? 2 lakh will be recorded in the P&L account, and then you have to make an adjustment entry, add outstanding salary 40,000. So ultimately you have to record 2,40,000 in the P&L account, and 40,000 which you have not paid actually will be shown in the balance sheet, because that's a liability. So this 40,000 is going to be shown on the liability side of the balance sheet. This basis make adjustment for outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses, accrued income and income received in advance while calculating net profit. This basis is suitable for big enterprise and this is recognized by the Companies Act 2013. In financial accounting, we are going to follow only accrual basis of accounting. This accrual basis of accounting is also known as mercantile basis of accounting. Let's take an example here. The total income received for the year is for the year 2019 and 20 is rupees 2,10,000. This is the total income given, and this total income includes what? Income received in advance. Income received in advance rupees 25,000. This income belongs to the next year, but this income is received in this year. So rupees 2,10,000. This income includes 25,000, which is related with the next year. Okay. Then the next is given income earned but not received. Income due of the current year but not received, and this 20,000 is not included in rupees 2,10,000. So you have to calculate income on cash basis and accrual basis. How to calculate this? See, this is the computation of income I have shown in this particular diagram table. So to calculate total income received on cash basis, on accrual basis, the total income received is 2,10,000. If we are taking cash basis, the total income received is 2,10,000. In this, 25,000 was the income which was received in advance, and income which is not yet received is also there, 20,000. But cash basis says we do not consider credit transaction. If any income which is not received is not going to incorporate, we are not going to show here. So according to cash basis, whatever you have received will be shown here. So you have received 2,10,000. So we are showing only 2,10,000 in the current year on cash basis. If you are considering accrual basis, and the accrual basis says whatever income which is pertaining to the current accounting period has to be shown in the current accounting period only, whether received or not. There is an income shown here in the third column row, income not received. This is rupees 20,000. This income is of current year, but you have not received this income in this year, but this income is pertaining to the current accounting period, so this has to be added here. So what we have to do, the total income received was 2,10,000, and this 2,10,000 includes rupees 25,000. This income was of previous year. So this income was of previous year, you have to deduct, because this income does not belong to the current year. So in a simpler terms, what you have to do on accrual basis, while following the accrual basis, you have to record only those items which are related with the particular year, particular accounting period, whether paid or not, whether received or not. So in this 2,10,000 rupees, 25,000, this is income received in advance. This is not related with the current year, so this will not be recorded. So you have to deduct it. And there is an income of rupees 20,000 which is pertaining to the next year, which is pertaining to the current year, but not received, but it is related with the current year, so you have to add it here. So in 2,10,000 you have deducted 25,000 and added 20,000 which is a current year income, and this comes to 2,05,000. Now what are the advantages of accounting? The first advantage of accounting is to facilitate or to replace the memory. It is not possible for anyone to record or to memorize all the transactions. Written documents are always better. So accounting helps to provide all the written documents. The next advantage of accounting, that it complies with the legal requirements. Legal requirements, whatever is given according to the Companies Act 2013. Next, advantage of accounting is it facilitates to ascertain the financial performance. Accounting helps to assess the financial performance of the business, and the financial performance of the business can be ascertained by preparing trading and P&L to calculate, wherein you calculate net profit. Accounting also helps to assess the financial position of the business, and financial position of the business can be ascertained by preparing balance sheet on a particular date. To repeat again, financial performance can be ascertained by preparing trading and P&L account, that is income statement, and this is prepared for the accounting period, while financial position is prepared on a particular date. This accounting helps the users to take decisions. There are different users, I have explained you earlier, internal users or external users. So they have to take their decisions regarding so many things. So it helps them to take their decisions. Accounting helps for the comparative study. Comparative study, if you want to compare two results of last year profit and current year profit, in that case you have to prepare the financial statement. That can be done by preparing financial statements. So it helps in interfirm comparison, intrafirm comparison, pattern comparison. Accounting also assists the management in planning and controlling the business activities, because those activities which you have to cut down, or those product which you have to continue, so financial statements helps in that also. This financial statements facilitates control over assets by providing them information regarding what is the cash balance available with us, bank balance, list of debtors, fixed assets, stock, etc. by furnishing by providing the balance sheet. Financial statements also helps in raising loans, because unless we furnish the financial information to anyone who are the lenders of the lenders, they won't be able to give us loans. So this helps in raising loans as well. Now, last to conclude is limitations of accounting. There are certain limitations as well of accounting. The first limitation, it ignores the qualitative elements like quality of management. Accounting ignores the qualitative elements. Qualitative elements means it ignores the quality of management. As I have explained you, or I have given you the example of this financial accounting includes only those transactions which can be measured in terms of money. It does not include if there is a thing like performance of the employees. This performance of the employees cannot be measured in terms of money, so this will not be recorded, though it has a huge impact on the turnover of the business, but it is not going to be recorded as it does not include money involvement. This accounting is not free from biases. Accounting is not free from biases because accountant, they have to choose among the alternatives given to him regarding methods of depreciation, straight line method or WDV method, method of inventory valuation, LIFO, FIFO, weighted average. So he has to choose among them. So there are some biases. Some accountant, they go for the straight line method. Some accountant, they choose WDV method. So accounting is not free from biases. Next limitation is, it is based on historical cost basis. In balance sheet, fixed assets are shown at the historical cost, that is after deducting depreciation, and not at the replacement value, which is quite often higher than the value shown in the balance sheet. Estimated position, not real position. Accounting is done keeping in mind the going concern concept. There are some concepts and conventions of accounting, and according to the going concern concept, this accounting is done not on the liquidation basis. So the results are estimated results, not the real results. The last one is window dressing. There is always a scope of falsifying the results or statements. Means accountant can inflate or deflate the these statements. So, that is not going to depict the actual position of the business. Thank you so much.